Greetings and salutations, my artsy friends. How is everyone today? So good, I hope. So good. I said I wouldn't say that anymore, and you know what? It just comes out sometimes. Anywho. Oh, you're on Drummond Island. Oh, I love when the waves are loud. I love that. I love that so much, Sammy. Just reminds me of home, that's for sure. So I have so many things to talk to you guys about. I don't know why we have such a wide view today. You get to see my messy desk and my notes for today. What I want to talk about. Well, Tam, I got kind of a couple of things that I'm going to play with. So you just kind of got to bear with me. So I will say, get your crayons out. Get your crayons out. I posted something in, hey Peg. I want to say good morning, artsy friends, but I don't want to, I'm trying really hard to not say, how is everyone doing? So good, I hope. Because I feel like, what if somebody's not having a good day? Do you know what I mean? What if somebody's not having a good day? Anyway, be that as it may. Okay, so I have a couple things that I thought we could work on today. You know what? I'm just so excited to be back and to be, not that I didn't have the best time. I absolutely did. But I'm just so excited to be making art with you this morning. So if you're brand new here, if you would like, follow and subscribe to, and thank you, Peg. Thank you to Ann Corbiere-Scott Designs on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I would greatly appreciate that. And then ask to join our... I'm so far away. I don't know what the issue is here. Is that better? If you would ask to join our private Facebook group, Stitch Along with Ann Facebook group and Ann Corbiere-Scott Designs Facebook group. Those are super important that you join those, because those are, well, they're private, number one. Number two, that's where you can share too. And I live for everybody sharing. Sharing is caring. Anywho. And for all things Ann and Artsy, go to AnnCorbiereScottDesigns.com. That's my website. Okay, so I have my art journal here, and I have some stuff to just blab with you guys about. I did do as Nancy suggested and got some stickers. I didn't find very many because we didn't really shop. I didn't go to shops so much. I did, just one sec. I did go to 2 shops, and I bought a sticker at each one, but they weren't the kind of stickers that you think. So, sorry, that crinkling bag, that's nasty, isn't it? So I did find an art store. Imagine. And I bought this at the art store. Make Bad Art. I love that. I love that. And so I'll tell you about that shop. So let's find a spot for this. So I can put that on this page, or I've started to put stickers on the back. So let's do it on the front. Wait, you know what? No, let's put it on the back, because I also got a sticker of Manitoulin Island. So I want to put that back here. So I thought I could make like a little collage of Manitoulin Island trip. And I was lucky enough to go to Beam Paint, to like really go there. And remember, Beam Paint is located on Corbiere Road. So my dad and I took a picture in front of that. Oh, my dad, he just goes along with all my crazy ideas. We just had such a great time. It was such a good trip. So I'm going to try and get the corner of this. So this little art shop was called Effie and the Fox, I think. Yes. So here's the Effie and the Fox Goods and Gallery. And she was just darling. And so I happened upon her shop on the day that she, on the last day that it was open. So if you know anything about Cold Country, lots of times they are only open, a lot of their businesses are only open in fair weather. Oh, that's kind of shining on my beam, isn't it? I can't really see that beautiful beam sticker. Like beautiful beam footage. Right? Okay, and now my little map. That somebody made these. I love that. Let's put Manitoulin right there. Stop it. Oh my gosh, I just love my little Manitoulin Island section right there. So anyway, so this little shop, her name is Danielle Daniel, and she's an author. I didn't buy any books because, you know, suitcase weight and everything, but she has, so the day I walked in was their last day that they were open for the season and the launch of her latest book. And I wrote that down somewhere. I don't know where that little piece of paper is, but anyway, look her up. Danielle, and I'm telling you, she was just delightful. And I'll show you what I got there. I found, she had these Faber-Castell water-based markers, and I fell in love with these colors. Don't you think we can make something cute out of that? And then, and she had all of them, so it was hard to decide which ones to get. But then I found she also had Hoban artist colored pencils, and she had these neons. And I think I might already have this luminous rose, but I didn't even care. Because I was like, it was so pretty. Look at those gorgeous colors. Anywho, could you tell I was kind of on a kick? To pick all kind of the same colors. Anywho, so that's what I got at the art store. My dad and I got to go to Beam, and oh my gosh. You know how I feel about Beam Paints and their owner, its owner, Anung Beam. And, oh my gosh, it was just the best experience. It was just the best experience. But I wanted to talk about, let's talk about where we were last week. Oh, I want to talk about our fruits and vegetables page, right? So, I hope that you're filling up your page, and I hope that you, hey Kay, so glad you're here. Thanks, Peg. So she has a brand new book that looked really interesting. And I just said, gosh, I wish I could purchase it. But my suitcase is already starting to get heavy because I had gone to Beam Paints first. And just, you know, all manner of loot that I always bring back with me. Anywho. So make sure that you keep up with this, because in the near future, I have something that we're going to use to, Oh, good, Peg Keels. Then start a new one. Start a new one, because I have some artwork that we're going to use to highlight this, and that, you know, we'll just continue to have healthy artists by eating lots of fruits and veg. And I have some artwork coming that's going to acknowledge this and enhance our fruit and veg sticker pages. And then, okay, so do you remember we started this during last week's Tuesday class, because we didn't have a Thursday class. So, and this is our flower color wheel, right? So I worked on mine. I have one letter to finish here. I worked on mine on the plane mostly. I did some at my dad's house, but mostly on the plane. But here, oh, look at this. This is some of my new beam paints, just two of them. And I will tell you about this page. So this page was painted by my dad and I, and here's why. So when we went to beam paints, Anung just but the sticker page, Tam, is just as you go along, as you eat fruits and vegetables, you just peel off the sticker and stick it down. There's nothing you really need to. I hope are you talking about this one, or are you talking about the flower color wheel? Anyway, so this page, so when we got to beam paint, it was the most surreal, lovely experience. So we found it, and it's way out in the country, and there's not signage, but I memorized that address all the way back to when Keely and I were on Prince Edward Island, and I saw the business card on the wall that had the address, and it said 53 Corbiere Road, and I just turned and I was like, Keely, that's my name. Anyway, so so I had been texting her, messaging her back and forth, Anung, and so she knew my dad and I were coming, and when we were going to get there, and all of that. And then, because it's like about 4.5 hours from my dad's house. So anyway, we got there, and anyway, we walked in, and it was just as I dreamed it would be. It was so beautiful. Anyway, we got there and we started chatting, and she has a giant card catalog cabinet, and each drawer is filled with a different color of her gorgeous paints. And then when you turn, there was a little display, and it had 3 new colors, and these are 2 of the 3 new colors. Then we went to the garage, and in the garage, that's like the shop. Behind where the store is, that's where they mix the paints. In the garage, that's where they create the paint stones. So this is Fairy Tale Gold. I didn't think I had this gold. I think I have a different gold. And yes, I did take my... Yeah, I have Dreamer's Gold, and here's Fairy Tale Gold. Stop it. So beautiful. Anyway, so we went over to the garage because she said, my partner's name is Corbiere. His name is Dennis Corbiere. And my dad was like, oh, I don't know that I know a Dennis Corbiere. So we went over there, and oh my gosh. It was just a dream come true. I'm telling you. They walked us through their whole process, their whole, they have these giant wood trays that have holes this size. And then they fill them with, they fold these little container, for lack of a better word, with the waxed beam fabric, right? And then they fill each one of the containers by hand. A cousin named Fred Corbiere, who really is our cousin, we found out that Dennis was not our cousin, because we just sat down, and Dennis and my dad and Anung and I and Fred was one table away from us, filling each one of these little containers with paint. And he was filling, oh, what color is it? It's a color that I have. So you know, I was like, I had my swatch. I had taken a picture of my swatch, and I had robin's egg. That's the color that he was filling. Anyway, so we got to see we sat down and talked about family and Corbieres and powwows, and oh my gosh, the last time my dad had been to Manitoulin Island was over 60 years ago, when he took my grandma and I think 3 aunties to a powwow over there. It was just, oh my gosh. So we talked about all of that, and then we were standing there talking, and then they started to show. So I got to see how they did these, and then you guys, as we're walking around, I see this table, and on this table are cedar twigs and some tufts of fur and some leather and some sinew, and this is what Dennis makes. So he makes these paintbrushes out of cedar twigs that he whittles down, and then he puts the ferrule on the top, and then he takes deer fur and makes the brush. He kind of makes that little bundle and wraps it with sinew, and attaches it to the ferrule, and then wraps this in leather and wraps that in sinew, right? So Anung says, watch. So my dad and I were so intrigued. So you see how the strands of fur are kind of splayed out, but when you wet it, it comes to a point, right? And so when we got home, I go, Dad, let's paint with those brushes. And so we did, and this is the page. So I took a picture of it and I sent it to Anung. I said, I thought you might enjoy this. So now I'm going to show you the colors that I used. So one of her brand new colors is Lake Superior, and that's this one here, the shimmery blue. Look at it, is it in all its gorgeous glory? And then Topaz Lake. Look at that. And then Grasshopper, which I haven't painted with yet. But I also got Lilac, which used to be called Lavender, and I only had like a dot of it, so I bought the paint stone of that. And then this one is Rose, which I didn't think I had this rose color. What's this one? Boral. I showed you Fairy Tale Gold, Sky Blue, which I didn't think I had a big thing of Sky Blue, and then the 3 new ones. And then I bought so many paints. But I wanted to share with you that this page was painted with this brush and those new colors. I'm telling you, we just had the best time. So then we're touring there, but her shop closes at 3, and it was like 2. And then Dennis goes, so Dennis took my dad on a tour of the garage because he has all kinds of old farm tools and snowshoes and oh my gosh. And you know, me and my dad, we love old junk like nobody's business. So we toured that. And then we're talking family stories a little bit more. And then Nung says to Dennis, hey, why don't you take him over to see your dad? Like, he might know more stories. And so Dennis goes, okay, get in your car and follow me. So I'm not kidding. We went to Dennis's dad's house. And so we met Mr. Corbiere. His name was Roy Corbiere. No, Ron Corbiere. And then we just had a fantastic visit. He invited us into his home, and we sat at the kitchen table, and we had more conversations, and oh my gosh. And then we went to go over to the store, and then all of these places are very close. They're all like on the same road. And so we go, I said, I want to get to the store before it closes. And as we're walking outside, Dennis says, hey, do you guys have a place to spend the night? Because we have a house that you can stay in tonight. How cool was that? And I said, no, we got reservations. We're okay. And he goes, okay, just remember. So my dad and I are like, well, we want to come back for the power. So maybe we'll call Dennis up. Anyway, then I went to the store, and then I shopped like nobody's business. I'm going to give you a sneak peek. Well, I can't give you a sneak peek, but I can tell you that something is coming new from Beam that I was able to purchase that hasn't even gone up on the website yet. And that is letterpress cards. She has some letterpress cards that are coming out in Ojibwe. Oh my gosh, they're so cool. They're so cool. They're so cool. My dad was fascinated by the letterpress machine. And so, you know, if you know my dad, he just wanders. He's very, very quiet. And like he walks and nobody can hear him like a true Indian. Anyway, he wandered, he went back. So where the store is, then there's this plastic curtain. And behind that is like where they do the packing of things to ship. And, oh, you know, my dad, Wayne just wandered back there. And so he saw how they mixed the paints. He saw, he wandered over and saw the letterpress machine, which was behind a bunch of stuff again. I'm telling you, we left and we were just, oh my gosh, it was the most fabulous. And then we took our picture in front of the Corbiere Road sign. So it was just the best experience. Like it couldn't have been better. So I told you, I know we're like 25 minutes in and we haven't even started making art. So here's what I started. I posted this picture the other day, or this little video in Back to Art School 101, and that was the crayon class. But I thought we could do the exercise. Oh my gosh, I knew I had to do it with my dad, Keels. I knew I had to do it with my dad. Okay, so, you know, have Ziploc will travel. So these are the crayons that Kay and Keely got me at the Biltmore in, it was in South Carolina, Asheville, right? Is that correct, Keels? Anyway, so, and they're just, these mixed colors. Look at how gorgeous they are. Okay, so what the exercise says is that you need to just pick a page and take a crayon and just start to swirl crayon. And this is a great warm-up and very meditative, right? Just swirl crayon. Oh my gosh, Sue, it was the best. It was the best. Okay, so I'm just going to continue. So I'm using this multicolor crayon, but you could use any crayon. Just fill your page with swirly scribbles. And I'm just turning these crayons so I get more color. Right? Just remember that when you're creating with crayons, you're going to get some crumbs. Do you see them? So what I do is, well, this is a napkin from who knows where, but then I take a paper towel or a napkin and I just wipe those crumbs off, right? So I want you to just fill a whole page like this. Just fill a whole page like this. And who knows what we'll do with it. Maybe we'll leave it just as it is. Maybe we'll do something more on it. I don't know. But just warm up your creative noggin by filling a page with swirly crayon marks. And if you're using a swirl crayon, isn't it pretty? Sue, I'm telling you, it was the best. Or it is the best. Keely, I am loving these crayons. Kay, I am loving them, loving them, loving them. So much so that while I was on the plane last night, I was like, I want to do something in my art journal because I had finished the lettering page, and I was watching A Gentleman in Moscow, which Tammy and Keely, have you seen that? So it is based on a 2016 novel by Amor Towles, and we read another book by him. What was the name of that book? Oh my gosh, I can't remember. Anyway, A Gentleman in Moscow, if you don't know, is okay, so watch the it's only 3 episodes. It's on Hulu. Oh my gosh. It was so good. It was so good. Anyway, so while I'm watching that, it's only, like I said, it's only 3 episodes. So it's the story of a post-revolutionary Russia, and a Russian count is stripped of his title and his wealth and is placed under house arrest in a grand hotel. And it just, oh my gosh. It was just a lovely story. Just the loveliest story. Okay, so it was kind of dark in my seat. But I took this crayon and I did a little bit of a scribble, right? And then I was like, we've done this kind of art so many times. I just wanted to fill in the, each one of these spaces that was created by my scribbly crayon drawing. You know, I've told you that I've done this, a version of this art since kindergarten. And I do it I don't know, I find such comfort in it. We did it in kindergarten, and we've colored each section a different color, but now I do all kinds of versions of it. And so I thought, wouldn't it be cool to do that same technique, but to color in each version or each section with one of my swirl crayons from Keely and Kay. Well, this one isn't really swirl, but you get the idea, right? And so, and I wanted to darken the edges, so I turn until I get to the deepest color, and then I just do some line work on the edges of each section, and then do that swirly blend with other sections of the crayon, so that I'm getting, do you see how it's kind of dimensional and it's starting to like look kind of I don't know, puffy-ish. That's kind of where I wanted to go with it. Well, good morning, Denise. Oh my gosh, you guys, I didn't say everybody take a drink yet. I got all excited with everything else going on. So everybody take a drink. Anyway, I have a little bit of dark crayon right there. So I thought I might be able to scrape it off with my X-Acto. Whoops. There we go. Let's see if I can get it off. There's some here. I think this might actually be ink. You know what? This is ink from this page. So I just started to kind of incorporate it into my art. Anyway, so that is, so please do this page and then do this page. It is such a meditative, just relaxing exercise. And it's doing that same technique that we've done many times. Hey, Nance. In a new way. I'm telling you, I have a million ways to do this technique. Okay, so here, maybe I'll go to the other end so I have a sharper point. Okay, so here, I want to come in and do this darker line in this section. Hey, Deb. And I want to fill that in. Right? I want each section to be independent of the others, right? But have the continuity of the colors that are in this crayon, right? So I can play with my pressure, like how hard I'm pressing with my crayon. I never push too hard. But do you see how this is just going to grow and grow and grow? Oh my gosh, I'm loving it so much, you guys. So play with this and play with, whoops, where is it? This. And then who knows what we'll do this. Oh, Deb, you're sure in my thoughts and prayers. You are sure in my thoughts and prayers. I have been there. That's for sure. I know, and you'll be so happy to have him home again. You know, you'll be so happy. What was the other thing I wanted to talk to you about? I have my whole little list here. I did go foraging in the forest, so you know, starting next week, we're going to start making art with things that, leaves, etc., that we find on our walks, or just when you venture out and you see something cool. And it doesn't have to be a fall leaf that's changed color. We're going to do all kinds of things with all kinds of leaves, so just know that. So remember, Art Ember instead of November, Art Ember instead of Arttober starts next week. On Thursday, we're going to work on our Halloween page that we had talked about creating. So I have lots of bits and pieces that are in, oh, shut up, it looks good on there, doesn't it? That I have all manner of doneness. All these little bits and pieces. We're going to create a art page, an art journal entry, with a Halloween art journal entry with these. Oh, look at that. Stop it right this minute. Stop. stop it right this minute. Oh, shut it. Shut it. Shut it. Maybe I'll have more than one. I don't know. Anyway, and then I still have these to paint. And these were all painted with, oh, stop it. It's going to totally be fun. We're totally going to have fun, Deb. I promise we will have fun. We always have fun. Oh, I forgot this little potion bottle. That goes with that too. So on Thursday, we're going to do, we're going to work on our Halloween art journal entry. And we are also going to work on, I haven't added color yet to my flower color wheel. So I'm going to do that on Thursday. Well, I'll probably work on it this week, or, you know, today and tomorrow also. But just know that that's one of the things that we're going to play with. And then remember, next week we're going to have all new artwork that's coming out, and I can't wait to share that. So the new artwork will come out on Friday, and if you have my newsletter, you're going to get the first glimpse at it in the newsletter. What was the other thing I wanted to talk about? Thank you, everyone who wrote beautiful things about my tribute to my mom on her birthday. That was kind of a hard day. It was hard, but it was also kind of lovely. It was just, I don't know how to, because I was with my dad, so that was nice, you know. We were together, and I bought a birthday cake, and we had that on Sunday. I'm just working on coloring in some of my white spots that I see. Oh, I have one letter here that I need to finish. Let's see. There we go. That's the one I want. I need to swatch my new colors, my new beam colors. I know that looks crazy right now, but I promise it's going to look cute in a minute. Let's fill that in. Well, so to get to Manitoulin Island, there's a ferry, but the ferry stops in early October because of weather. And then the only way onto the island is this one-lane bridge. And this one-lane bridge is called the Little Current. That's the name of the town we stayed in. Little Current swing bridge. So it's just like it says, it's a swing bridge. We had those in Bay City, when in the town like I grew up in. But they, and they're just so cool. And that bridge was built in 1912. And it started out as just a railroad bridge, and now it's only vehicle transportation. But so when you're on this side, waiting to get onto the island, you have to wait until there's a light, a stoplight here and a stoplight here on the other side of on the island. So you have to wait until all of the cars coming from the island are over, and then the light changes, and then it's your turn to go. Oh my gosh, it was just quaint and lovely, and We just had ourselves a time. We did. Anywho. And then we still need to do something with this. And I have a big idea. I have a big idea with some November artwork to play with that. So just remember that it's okay to just create a background and just let it sit and percolate. You do not have to. I will tell you, I hardly ever finish a page start to finish in one sitting. I don't know if I've ever done that. Because for me, each one of the steps are kind of their own thing. So I have this amazing background that I can't wait to fill up. I've thought about adding some more crayon up here because I attached my page too low. It's kind of bothering me. I don't know. And sometimes, every now and again, just look through what you've created. Just be proud of yourself. Just do a little flip through and go, oh, I want to play with that technique again. I want to do something more with that. I want to finish that or do another step on that page. Do you know what I mean? Just be proud of yourself and your art. I'm going to set this aside and I'm going to do my swatching of my new beam colors. Turn to my beam page. There we go. Beam. Okay, so now the new colors that I have. So lilac is, remember I told you that is, that was on a dot card, and so I have that one swatched already. Let's see what else I have here. This is sky blue, and you know what? I have that. That must have been in a dot card too. But the rest of these, I do not believe I have. So that one, and that one are new. I don't have that one. And this one is rose. And you know what I love about her colors? You guys, it has the name of the color in Ojibwe and in English. I love that. And remember, her stuff is all, everything is sustainable. Everything is sustainable. There's no plastic involved in any of the making, in any of the packaging, in any of the, oh my gosh, so amazing. So I'm going to, that's funny, Tam. Sometimes it happens. So, and I just love that each of these colors was created by hand. Like the color mixing was done by hand. The so to fill these little containers, for I don't know what else to call it, but anyway, to fill the little containers, the paint is put into pastry bags, and then Fred fills each paint or each of the containers with that pastry bag, just like frosting. Oh my gosh. I told my dad, that's why I love, like, some of them are over the top. Some of them have a little divot. Some of them, I love that. I mean, you have no idea how it's going to settle. Look at, so this one kind of sunk a little bit, and this one stayed above a little bit. Oh my gosh, it's the coolest. And they have like drying racks everywhere, as you can imagine. I think I should use my new paintbrush. What do you think? I'm gonna get that brush wet. And I have this, so I'm just gonna start with my Lake Superior. Oh my gosh, yes. So Beam Paint has agreed to sponsor us again, my retreat again, and she has something so special for us. Okay. That I get to bring home with me. I'm telling you, I can't wait. I can't wait. Look at that gorgeous. And that's Lake Superior. Okay, let's clean our brush. Now let's do Topaz Lake. I'm gonna work that water into our paint. Get it nice and activated. And this Topaz Lake is so beautiful. Look at that. That's right. Topaz Lake. And then the third new color is Grasshopper. Here we go. Look at how pretty that is. And look at how this is we've talked about different yellows before. Fall poplar yellow is quite creamy and warm. Grasshopper is more of a kind of a cool yellow. I love that. This one is Grasshopper. There we go. And now I have 3 other colors. So I'm thinking, I'm gonna put it there. So there's Dreamer's Gold. Let's do the Fairy Tale Gold right here. So it's kind of near it. And this is a, you know, when you have a color that is so shimmery as a gold, that's when you really, really, really need to incorporate that water into that color, or it kind of separates. So this is so pretty because it's such a yellowy gold, almost like an orange gold. It reminds me of that gold, Deb, that you used on that jelly print that you sent me. Okay, look at that next to that gold. Look at the difference. Ugh, so pretty. So that is Fairy Tale Gold. Fairy Tale Gold. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, now we have Rose. Let's work that water into that Rose. And I think I want to do, let's do that one right here. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that pretty? Clean up our brush. And that's Rose. And now we have Corel. Oh, look at that big drop just went down there. Let's do that here. Look at that deep, gorgeous green. Look at that. Okay, let's see. Boreal. Deb, this is almost exactly that color. You know what color I'm talking about, don't you? On that gorgeous jelly print that you sent me. Oh, I'm just in love with it. Okay, those are my new colors, and the two others I already have. So now this is pretty. This is up to date of the colors that I have. So they can go into the tray now. They have to dry completely, but they can go in the tray. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside to dry. And let's do our comfort book, but let's take a drink. I am so bad about drinking water this morning, you guys. Okay. I think we just did Nothing Is Closed. So let's put, there we go. Knowledge in the Forest. Ooh, that's a good one since I just went foraging in the forest. Know your enemy. In the classic Chinese military treatise, The Art of War, Sun Tzu offered advice that echoed through the centuries. It is timeless advice because, of course, it doesn't just apply to war. If we fully understand, say, depression, or a physical disease, or the nature of climate change, or injustice, it helps us combat these things. Without knowledge of our difficulties, we would be in trouble. For instance, the average person plunged into the middle of the Amazon rainforest would probably struggle to survive because they wouldn't understand all the threats they faced. But Julianne Kopic wasn't an average person. She was a person with knowledge. On Christmas Eve, 1971, age 17, somewhere over Peru, Kopic fell through the sky, strapped to her seat after lightning struck her plane. All 91 of the other people on board died, including her own mother, but she survived the fall and managed to get out of her seat once it had fallen through the jungle canopy. Kopic was in pain. She was in shock. She had a broken collarbone and deep cuts on her legs. She was also in a state of fear for her own life. At the sight of other dead bodies, she felt paralyzed by panic. She grabbed some provisions she found amid the debris and tried to find her way back to civilization. Kopic knew a lot about the rainforest. Her parents were both zoologists. Before the crash, she had spent over a year living with them in a research station within the Peruvian rainforest. In her own words, she knew that armed with knowledge, she didn't have to be the green hell people imagined. It didn't have to be the green hell people imagined. For instance, she knew that snakes could be camouflaged to look like dried leaves. She knew the sounds of various bird calls. She knew which signs to look for in order to find water, and she ended up finding a creek. Her dad had also once told her that if you followed the flow of running water, you would eventually find civilization. As described in her book, When I Fell from the Sky, she passed vultures feeding on corpses. Snakes, mosquitoes, and deadly spiders were a continual threat. One of her wounds became infested with maggots. She suffered from the heat of the sun, but all the time she was aided by knowledge. She decided to walk as much as possible in the water of the stream in order to avoid snakes, spiders, and the poisonous plants of the jungle floor. She stayed in the middle of the stream in order to avoid piranhas, which she knew mainly swam in shallow water. She knew this would mean she would probably encounter alligators, but she also knew that, unlike snakes, alligators rarely attacked humans. On and on she walked as her infested wound grew ever more painful. She had no food now. She felt weary and in a dreamlike state, yet she had a determination she believed was passed down from her father. When we have really resolved to achieve something, my father once said, we succeed. We only have to want it, Julianne. She stayed on the lookout for jungle paths, found one, and then followed it. It led her to a deserted hut that had a liter of petrol inside. She had also been taught that an emergency petrol can be a painful remedy for severely infected wounds, so she used it to dress her own injury. Eventually, on the 11th day, she heard human voices, and the jungle-dwelling men who found her took her on a longboat back to civilization, on a longboat trip. The day after her rescue, she was reunited with her father. Kopek's story would eventually be the subject of the Werner Herzog-directed documentary Wings of Hope. Herzog himself had originally been an intended passenger on the ill-fated plane. Julianne graduated in biology and kept the family tradition of zoology alive, as she is currently the librarian at the Bavarian State Collection of Zoology in Munich. Of course, it is unlikely we will find ourselves in the middle of the Amazon stranded after a plane crash. But when we find ourselves lost and stranded in the tangled forest of our own lives, we can still get to know the territory and face up to our wounds and be aware of the metaphorical snakes in the underground, not hindered by ignorance or denial, but armed with self-awareness. Oh man, that was a little heavy for this morning, but good. So I hope that you will use these next couple days to work on your crayon meditative drawing, and you will work on our new version. So work on this. Just fill a page with crayon swirls. Right? So you could do this in a single color. You could do this with your swirly crayons. You could do this with many different colors if you wanted. Just continuous lines, there's something about not lifting your writing implement from the page. There's something where you're just continually connected to the page. There's something about that. And let yourself just get lost in it. And then work on one of these scribble drawings like I did in kindergarten, and with a crayon, and then fill each segment with that crayon, but working on your shading, working on your swirly blend. Work on that. So start out like this, like I said, with a deep color around the edge, right? And then so this is a big segment, as you can see. And then work on filling it in, right? So we've got my outline, right? And now you're just going to start to do that swirly blend, right? So you're going to have much less pressure when you're doing the blend than you did with the outline, but you're going to work your blend into the outline so that you have a nice transition, right? So you're going to play with different amounts of pressure to get that blend to look like a blend. Do you know what I mean? And if you're using a swirl crayon, turn your crayon so you get some different... These are crayons that Keely and Kay got me from the Biltmore when they had their trip to Asheville, North Carolina. But they're much like a swirl crayon, so you could absolutely do this with a swirl crayon. Or you could use it with a regular crayon. So I hope that you will. So here you can really see my circles, but then I'm going to come in, I'm going to turn it and start to work on my blend, right? So I'm going to come in with light pressure, but then back foot, like I'm just filling with color, right? Filling with color. But working on blending it out so that I have a really nice smooth transition. So we're not just coloring it in, we're working on a skill set. We're working on our blending skill. And I'm just going to tell you that it's more difficult. So look, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. We've done that a million times, right? And then you're just going to... The more that you play with these techniques, the more they will just become second nature to you. So here I have kind of a harsh line, it feels to me, between my blue and my green. So I want to come back in, I want to turn my crayon so maybe I get some different colors, and then I'm just going to work on building that out, right? And know that this, too, is going to take a while. So while you're watching TV in the evening, or you just need a moment to kind of chill out, come and do something like this. Back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, and then blend it out. Less pressure. Less pressure. So maybe you just come in and you just do one segment, and then you go off and make yourself some lunch, or, I don't know, mop the kitchen floor, or whatever other tasks you have. And then maybe later in the day you come back and you go, you know what? I think I want to do another segment. Or maybe you do the whole thing while you're watching TV, like I said, in the evening. Whatever it is, take your time. Take your time. Think about the colors that you're butting up next to each other. Like, I know this, I either want to do green, or maybe I want to do some lettering in there. I'm thinking. So I still have down here to do back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. So on Thursday, let's talk about, I'll show you some of the things that I gathered in my little foraging trip. You know, I found the forest when I was on Manitoulin Island, and so I just gathered all manner of things there. And then, wherever I go, I'm bending down and picking up leaves and picking up sticks and dead flowers, and, that's the kind of stuff I bring home. My dad just, he starts to look for it with me. So anyway, I know we are over. Big surprise. But I just missed you all so tremendously. Don't forget that tomorrow is Stitch Along with Anne over on the Stitch Along with Anne Facebook group, 9 o'clock Arizona time. Don't forget, next weekend is the time change. That's something to really think about. So you'll need to make your adjustments wherever you live. Remember, Arizona doesn't change, so it will always be 9 o'clock Arizona time. Anyway, I can't wait either, Tam. I can't wait either. So, go out and make it a terrific Tuesday. I adore you all, and I'm so glad we're back together again. Talk to you soon. Bye, everyone. Thank you.